guys, welcome back to Project Element. Today we are working on my sister's 2000 Honda Accord. We are going to go ahead and replace the alternator. We tested it the other day and it is not putting out any volts, so we have to go ahead and replace that. Tools needed. We have a ratcheting socket, but also 10 millimeter socket. You want a 12 millimeter socket and also a 14 millimeter socket. So we'll go ahead and get started. And also, when working on any electrical stuff in your car, always be sure to remove one of the battery terminals so you don't short anything out. So, first thing I am going to do is right down here, there is a tensioner screw. I'm going to go ahead, bolt. I'm going to go ahead and loosen that bolt up to release the tension on the belt over here. That is good for that. And then over here you have two bolts you have to remove. One up here. Right here is 14 millimeter, and there is one which you can't really see, but it's down the bottom here. It is a 12 millimeter bolt. Yeah, right down there. I'll circle it in the video when I do the edit. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the large 14 millimeter. And the deep well socket was too long, so try to get this in here. This is kind of one of those spots where a ratcheting box wrench would.
Or you should have used your wobble to get around
wobble. Fingers. It should come right out. It's a long bolt right there.
Tell him I'm done the videoing.
And today my dad is the one filming. We decided to let him film and me go ahead and do this. I have pulled this alternator once, so I kind of remember how to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that bolt that's down the bottom now. I can get on it. Is it that one? Okay guys, we are back. I figured out how I did it last time. I actually have this little 3/8, I guess it's like a small breaker bar with an extension and the regular 12 millimeter socket. Put it on there, and you have to go down here underneath of the belt to go ahead and get it on that bolt and go ahead and break it loose. And once you get that, it actually comes loose relatively easy. You should be able to get in there with your hands and unloosen it and pull it out with your hands. I just about got it. That's pretty little short actually, just right there. Put that here. Another thing we want to do is go ahead and remove this connector here, the cover. And that is a 10 millimeter, which I've got right here. Go ahead and use the breaker bar because I got it in my hand. And go ahead and break that loose. Just break it loose and it'll spin right off with your fingers. And don't drop this. You don't want to drop it. This will come right off. And we can go ahead and pull the plastic rubber cover off of this one. Squeeze it right here with your fingers, and it'll pull right on out. Go ahead and push that out of the way. Going to go ahead and loosen that tensioner a little more. This is the 10 millimeter socket again.
You sure you don't want to take out that one? Yeah, this one's actually in the, that one right there is the one you need to take out.
So I think that one's 12 also. Go ahead and try to get that one.
No, show me that.
Can you see?
Right there. There you go. See how easy it fell? You're loose now. You can take off the belt. Take off the belt first.
Hold on. Gotta get it to... Sometimes put a flathead screwdriver in here, move it a little. Get it to tensioner. Gotta loosen the tensioner a little more. The 10mm bolt. Here.
I'm sure you all can hear our neighbors just got home.
Should go ahead and slide it down. Should pop right off. Why is it not? Let me see. Okay, so there's this other 12mm bolt on the side that you do have to take out. I am working on loosening that now, so then we can go ahead and loosen this up to get the belt off. Let me see if I can get to that with my fingers now. Let go. It is loose. I just cannot get my fingers in there to get it out. Come on. And here we go. It's coming out now. There we go. It is just a bolt on the nut on the end of there. Should be loose enough to come off now. And the belt still does not want to come off.
You sure you weren't tightening up the tensioner?
I am absolutely sure. Let me just grab it with my fingers. There we go. The tensioner has to be almost all the way loose for it to pop out. It finally popped now, the belt off. So this whole thing should just be able to pry forward with a screwdriver, and the whole thing should pretty much come out.
I think you gotta pick up on it.
And there is... Does the tensioner has to slide off. There we go. The alternator is out. So now, come over here. We've got the new one right here.
Compare the two, make sure.
Everything looks like everything matches up. They look good. So we're gonna go ahead and take a break. Never mind. We're gonna go ahead and put this one in now. So see if we can get all this figured out and have an easier install than we did removal. Slide that on. Pop this in here. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna take the nut right here, reach under here and slide it on. It's a lot easier to get on there when the belt is out of the way. Tighten that up. Go ahead and see if we can get this to slide in here. Does not really want to go. Quite sure why. compressor. Okay guys, we're back again. Sorry about that. There is actually this little kind of like a spacer thing that's in this hole. It was sticking out too far, so we couldn't get the alternator to go in all the way. So my grandfather is an ex-mechanic, or used to be a mechanic and had his own shop in the past. So what we did is went and got one of his punches, the brass punch. I put it on there, got a big old hammer, and just whacked it a couple times just to move that back. So now we have the clearance to let the alternator slide in nice and easily, and that'll all tighten back up and in there when we put the bolt back in. So gonna go ahead and continue. To me, it seems like every time we try to work on some kind of vehicle, we always end up having some kind of problems. You get the 14mm bolt, go ahead and feed that through. Should go right through the alternator. Well, if we can get it to go through. There we go. Go ahead and start tightening up those threads a little, if it'll go in. There we go. Take the other 12mm bolt, try to go ahead and get that back down under here. That should just fall back in place. Now that I think about it, I'm about ready to lose it. I don't think we actually had to remove that one. And now I lost it.
Well guys, we got that other bolt back in. I don't know if you can see it under here, but it's down there. And evidently we didn't need to take that one out. It was the other one that needed to come out. Let's see if we can get you a better picture of it once we pull that up. Yeah, that one that's right there did not need to come out. Yeah, that one. Lawrence is going to tighten that one back up now.
Try to. If I can get a ratchet on there to get it snugged. Okay, we went ahead and put that back on. I believe we put the nut on down here. We put that bolt on down here in the back. That bolt in the back, the 12mm bolt, does not need to come out. It's only this nut on the end where it goes through the tensioner. And we put the 14mm bolt back through the top here. That's the larger heavy-duty bolt. Now I'm gonna go ahead and slip this belt back up over this alternator. Make sure everything seats properly all the way around on your compressor and all the way down underneath. Make sure the teeth sit correctly. Grabbing my 14mm so I can go ahead and tighten.
Don't tighten up all the way because you gotta still pull it up. The tensioner needs to be done before that.
Yes, this just a little bit. Gonna go ahead and tighten it up. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my 12mm, tighten up this one under here, if I can get to it, which I should be able to. Now that is nice and snug. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the 10mm and go ahead and start tensioning the tensioner. Okay guys, so my dad was trying to tell me, and I did not want to listen, but the bolt, the nut under here, right here, which attaches to the tensioner, if you tighten that up, your alternator won't be able to lift up to be able to tighten the tensioner. That one has to be tightened last. So I'm going to go ahead and finish tightening up the tensioner. Go ahead and make sure the belt is nice and snug. check it with your fingers. What do you think? I think that looks good. Just a little bit more.
Just don't hurt it and break it.
That feels good, nice and tight. Now we'll go ahead with the 12 millimeter and tighten up the one under here like we said before. Just snug it up nice and snug. Okay, that is good. Now we're gonna switch off
the 14
to the 14 millimeter and go ahead and tighten that up. It is right here. If I can get that one there. I'm gonna switch to shallow socket.
Should be over here.
I've got right here, so I can just have enough room
Go
to
inside.
get in here. Let me try
Inside the belt.
Swivel.
There you go. The wobble.
The wobble I have.
Now remember, you're going to want to tighten it good because it's got to move that pin back in.
I'm gonna switch back to the deep well. See if I can go ahead and finish this up. I believe that's good actually. It does look like it pushed it back in. It all looks snug, it feels snug. Belt is tight. Bolt down there is tight. Now what we are gonna do is go ahead and run these connections back down. The new one comes with a new little 10 millimeter bolt to reattach this connection. I believe this is the ground for this. This is a little different setup from the old one. Go ahead and put that there, and then go ahead and put this on. And that is a 10 millimeter, which I've got right here. Go ahead and snug that up. Looks totally good. Go ahead and put this cover back over. Go ahead and plug in this connector. And put the rubber cover, if I can get it unstuck, back over the green plug to keep everything watertight. And that is it, guys. We had some struggles. I thought it was going to be simpler, and it ended up being more difficult than I thought. If I would just listen, it would make things simpler sometimes. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like, comment, subscribe if you would like to. And also, if you have any questions or suggestions, like I said before, put them in the comments down below.
We're going to switch real quick. I want to say something. And guys, as you see, we're not mechanics. We are mechanically inclined somewhat, but we don't want to hide our struggles. We want you to see what real people will have. Some people edit their videos, make it look like it was real easy, 3-minute job. And maybe for some pro mechanic, but for people like us, we have real struggles. We're going to show you those struggles because we're humans, and we just want you to see the truth. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. We appreciate you guys.
Real quick, just wanted to let you guys know that if you are interested in the alternator we used in this video, it will be linked in the description down below. As I stated earlier, if you guys have any questions or suggestions, you can go ahead and throw them in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.